Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.
It's the ATS Podcast, precious.
We don't care, we're about to swear on the air. It's the after the show, so tune in if you dare. KVJ, get risque every single day. It's uncensored. We can say what we want to say.
Yeah, here we go. Welcome to the After the Show podcast. A little bit more from KVJ here for your day. Whether you're watching us live or on the replay or just on your podcast app. It's all good. We appreciate you guys being here. Also appreciate Texas Roadhouse. They brought some food by, some pulled pork and some green beans. Very carb edited, keto friendly. Appreciate that. They did bring a plate of rolls for Jaybird.
They did.
It makes my heart full of just love. Thank you.
They brought him the bread, and they also brought him 3 tubs of honey butter.
That's one of those surprises in life where you're not expecting it, and then boom, rolls are at your feet. It's like, holy shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so excuse me. I was stuffing
I'm not
my face.
worthy.
Yeah. I feel like I hear you.
Thank you, Texas Roadhouse.
Yes.
Yeah, so we are starting a couple minutes late because I was feeding my face with the beans and the pulled pork. It's fantastic stuff. And they are doing some smart stuff. I know that a lot of businesses are just having to try to figure it out. And, you know, in these moments, as I'm looking at stuff, really, there are going to be some places that are going to come out of the coronavirus and the pandemic better than going in because they are good to adapt. Good businesses adapt, and they think of, okay, saying, hey, when you take this away, we can thrive over here instead. So they pivot, and then they do something else. And Texas Roadhouse is doing a couple of those things. I had seen where a lot of restaurants are almost now doubling as butcher shops. Oh. And, you know, they got great steaks, and so they have got a meat market there where you can still go and buy your meats at Texas Roadhouse. Maybe it's more convenient. Maybe you get a better cut of steak or a better deal. They've got a whole meat market menu from a butcher pack, all different sizes, including sirloins, burgers, pork chops, things like that, New York strips. They're offering filet packs. They've got pork chop packs. They have steak seasoning, the sauce, the honey cinnamon butter. You can buy that by the pint.
That's what you have.
It is.
The honey cinnamon butter.
I'm going to be pretty distracted during the podcast. I can't keep my thoughts.
Sweet tea by the gallon, lemonade, margarita mix, all that kind of stuff. There's a quick little snapshot of the menu they have.
They have good honey mustard, too, to dip the rolls in Virginia.
It's honey mustard.
Yeah, you take the honey mustard, smother it with the butter, then you dip it in the honey mustard.
Oh, okay.
That's a lot. It's very busy.
I'm a busy girl.
I know.
I'm a busy girl.
I don't know if I'm that busy. I do love honey butter, and of course, their rolls are amazing.
They also have a produce box for $35. You can get eggs and corn on the cob and green peppers and potatoes and cucumbers, tomatoes, all that kind of stuff.
Interesting. So you can just go there, skip the grocery,
Right.
not have to come in contact with a bunch of people.
Yeah, get a lot of your stuff just right there, pull right up, and they'll have the box ready for you. You would just call up and order.
Can you pay ahead and they just put it in your trunk?
I believe so.
Wow.
That seems like that's how they're doing it.
I am impressed with the businesses that can do that because that takes a lot of fear out of it. And people like me that are very fearful and literally have like a physical reaction of fear when they have to go in anywhere, that's good for us.
Coming up on Saturday, they're doing a drive-through farmers market where you can get a lot of ready-to-grill steaks and butcher packs and all that kind of good stuff. Going to be going on from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. You can go and check that out. So thank you to Texas Roadhouse doing some smart stuff, getting the word out. And we do want to help promote any businesses that are doing stuff like that for you to be like, oh, cool, I didn't know that. So it is business unusual. And wherever it's going on, we're trying to let you know all about it so that you can accommodate and you can pivot yourself, running your family or whatever you're doing. Got a couple interesting ideas here. The KVJ Happy Hour going to be going on week 2, Friday, 5 p.m. We'll be posting that up. You can go and get it. Might be on Facebook this week. We're kind of taking a look at possibly doing the shows live on Facebook, or at least the after the show and some other stuff there, and then repurposing and putting it up on YouTube. Because we're noticing that the chat is more abundant. More people jump in there. It seems like it's a bigger platform, and more people are using that, and we want to include as many people as possible.
Well, the thing that sucks, I know that the YouTubers are not going to like that much, but you can go over to the Facebook Live and do it live. But just for example, we have 21,000 subscribers on YouTube. We've got over 120?
About 113,000
on Facebook,
Yeah.
and as a show, we need to be in front of more eyeballs, unfortunately.
Yeah, so I think that will be better suited for the overall KVJ Nation.
But it will go back up on. It'll be uploaded
Yeah.
to YouTube right away. But just jump over on Facebook. It's really. I know some people don't have Facebook. That's why they would probably be annoyed. Some people really hate Facebook
Yeah.
with a passion. They've taken a stance against it and will never sign up for it.
But the thing about it is, that's where the most people are. So if you want to touch the most people, it's kind of where you got to go.
Yeah. Chris B. in Boca sent in this suggestion for the KVJ Cocktail Hour, the Happy Hour on Friday. The other day you were talking about the cocktail show, and I made a suggestion to read some of the posts that Jaybird is getting on his Dinky One account.
That's the website you signed me up for, Virginia.
Yes.
The day I was out with Chewy.
It is the Match.com for guys with tiny penises and the women that love them.
So from what I understand, I don't belong in this group.
Are you too hung?
I'm too hung to be in this group.
Prove it. Prove
Bragger.
it on KVJ TV right now.
But yeah, there's a certain amount of inches that they want. You can't be above a certain amount. If you are, they're like, bye, bitch.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It is interesting.
So you're a cut above?
I think I'm a couple cuts above. They're into some real small penises.
Yeah.
They are.
So some of the comments that have come in, Jaybird has stockpiled and accumulated a few. One came in from Jasmine, said, I love a small package. Do you have what it takes to get me satisfied? Your humiliation is my satisfaction. My hubby is way too big, so we need a small man to do the job.
That's the kind of shit a lot of these people are into.
Wait a minute.
Small dick humiliation with a husband's watching.
You're looking for a straight up dating site. I don't think you want to be a third wheel in some hog man's life.
Imagine that. The small penis dating site goes off the fucking rails. Imagine that.
I had such high hopes for this venture. I'm so sad to see it falling flat.
I don't trust dating sites, Virginia.
One from Carrie says, hey, you, quick question. Do you like to be made fun of for having a small penis? I'm into the real mean stuff. If you're not feeling insecure, I'm not turned on. Tell me about yourself.
Why the shit would somebody like that?
Well, you were saying that some guys are into that,
Well, they
and
are.
that's not your bag.
Well, no. It's not my bag.
He wants to be told it's huge.
Just what I want. Another woman yelling at me and making fun of me. No, I don't want that.
Jade sent Jaybird a message that says, the last guy I was with was almost 3 inches. He was too big for me. What's your size, Jason? Sounds like a trap, doesn't it?
Sounds like a question I think deserves an answer.
I think I've answered that before.
I forgot. Tell us again.
You don't want to know those numbers.
I kind of do.
Monica said, would you be into letting me and my boyfriend watch you masturbate on camera? We get off on seeing you little fellas get off.
Oh, that's not happy at all. That's very sad.
You signed me up for the fucking meanest bullshit. Imagine that.
That was very depressing.
I swear my heart was in the right
Oh,
place.
get out of here. You know I wanted nothing to do with that bullshit. It was strictly for comedy.
I was hoping this would end in marriage.
Oh, yeah.
Brenda said, I have only been with women. I'm ready to take the leap with men, but big peckers scare me. I want
Okay.
something that doesn't put fear in my vagina.
Now we're talking.
Yeah.
No one's vagina has ever feared this man. This is our girl.
Why don't you pipe
I know, huh?
down? My gosh.
She could be the one.
Yeah, so there
The
you go.
most annoying hype man in the game, Virginia Sinicki.
I know Chris B was looking for the cocktail hour. Maybe we'll have some more by then, but we have some other ideas. You know, last week we just kind of like turned the thing on and said, hey, what's going on? But this week, I think we'll have a couple other things that we're going to do. Play along, just have some fun little cocktail or kind of like games at work on Zoom.
Everybody get a picture, though, so that way you don't have to get up and refill your drink.
I just brought my bottle over there.
Yeah,
That's
right
your
there.
picture. That's smart.
Yeah.
Okay. This could be something fun. In fact, I was kind of thinking about this. This plays in well, and the timing is great. Rebecca had sent this in. I was thinking about how we should answer it is basically we each get a plead the fifth question or do a round or a couple of rounds. And then when you refuse to answer, you basically get dropped from the chat, and that's how you're out. Boom, gone.
I mean, if I'm drinking a whiskey, I'll probably answer everything you ask
Yes,
me.
you might be the last person standing. We'll see who winds up going first.
That's when you get me. Get me
Yeah.
on the ropes that way.
Yeah. So if you do have any ideas, it'd be great.
You want to know the inches then?
Dinky one, be the last one standing.
So I think that'll be a part of every cocktail hour, doing plead the fifth for all of us, at least towards the end, and then we'll boom, see who drops when.
That's how Kevin gets out of it. Oh, I won't answer. Bye.
Yep, boom, see ya.
It's a good tactic.
It is, yeah. Some of the questions here for me. Plead the fifth. Kevin, name another current morning radio show that you think is lame and annoying, and why. 2.
Can I play?
Give us the first name of the last person at work that made you think, dear Lord, you are so stupid, and had to just be polite to their face. 3, the last real fight between you and the Mexican Queen. What was it about? Ooh, juicy stuff. Virginia, some of the questions I have for you. Give the first name of the most annoying business contact you have worked with in the last 6 months. Business name not required, and why they were annoying to work with.
Okay, this person's trying to have us ruin our lives.
I think I would answer that one.
Virginia's down with it.
So maybe I don't know any better.
2, first name of a female person who typically works on your floor that smells not good, possibly stinks, bad breath, body odor, etc.
I don't have a good sniffer, so that's not a good one for me.
Okay. 3, tell us a secret or situation that you are dealing with that your husband Panda has specifically told you not to discuss on the radio. Okay, all pretty good. Jaybird, for you. First name of the girl that is now your ugliest ex-girlfriend, and why is she ugly now?
The ugliest ex-girl.
Wait, so I have to pick the ugliest ex-girlfriend and why she's ugly to me? All right.
In the last,
I can play that.
okay.
Because it could be personality-based, right, too? That makes them ugly?
Could be, yeah.
Or am I already finding little holes in the
No,
plot?
I think so. I think
Okay.
ugly is ugly. I mean, there are people that, yeah, where they're ugly to me that, other people would be like, what are you talking about? They're hot. Yeah, it's like, well, get to know them, and then, it starts to fade
If they
quickly.
have a really shitty attitude,
Yeah.
your hotness can wear off.
Big time. In the last 5 years, give us the name of the girl that you dated that your family did not approve of, or at minimum, was their least favorite. Why did your family or specific family member feel that way? And 3, you have to quarantine with one of your most recent 3 exes. Give us the name of the girl you chose and why her. Okay.
Yeah.
Those are great questions. A couple of them might not apply. My family didn't really ever have a problem with anybody.
Okay.
That was a legit girlfriend.
All right. Rebecca said, I sincerely apologize how inappropriate these are. Wait, no, I don't. I hope you play and love you guys. Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna play.
Those are good questions.
Yeah.
They are.
Well written.
They are. Absolutely. So thank you. We'll throw that in on Friday.
I love it.
Jason from the Pizzle has got a fun little game that he and his wife play. It's celebrity golf. It's basically like 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. We have 2 bowls, and in each bowl there are different names of actors and actresses. We each draw one name, and then we see who can connect the 2 with the shortest moves. So, like, if I picked Val Kilmer and she picked George Clooney, I would say Kilmer was in Top Gun with Tom Cruise, who was once married to Nicole Kidman, who was in The Peacemaker with George Clooney. So that's only 2 people. So now my score is 2. If it took her 3, then her score is 3. We each get 5 minutes, and we write it down at the same time and then reveal how we connected the actors. We do this however many times, and the person with the lowest score at the end wins, hence celebrity golf.
I love it.
That is kind of neat. That'd be tough. You really have to know your movies to try to play that game.
Most of us in the room could do it.
I would be terrible.
Bingo.
Bingo. Cassandra's got a couple of idea suggestions for movies. Both movies based on real stories. Patriots Day, about the bombing of the Boston Marathon. Molly's Game, a former Olympic athlete who runs an illegal gambling ring. And Polka King, unbelievable true story of a polka band leader and his get-rich-quick scheme. I've heard of the Polka King. So I've heard people said that that was good. So a couple of ideas. And if you missed the regular show earlier, I gave praise. I think it was on the After the Show podcast. I talked about it. And I watched a little bit of it last night, right up my alley. It was that Operation Odessa that is about a Russian mobster, a Cuban spy, and a smooth operator from Miami scheme to sell a Soviet submarine to Colombian drug cartel for $35 million. And the added surprise bonus, they've got Vanilla Ice in it.
That's a nice surprise. So you didn't know that was coming, and
Had no idea.
You just saw it.
I was like, "Oh my gosh, Vanilla Ice!" Yeah. And
Did you text him and ask him?
No, I haven't yet because I wanted to watch all of it and see exactly what was going on. But
Okay.
yeah, after I've watched it, I might maybe see if we can have him on. Probably the podcast would be even better, and just see if we could call him up and talk to him about, because it was the Ice Baby era. It was early '90s, and when he was living off Star Island, he had a speedboat. I want to hear about that marina where apparently all the celebrities kept their boats.
Yes. Marina sounds like it was jumping.
Yeah.
Are you the only one on this show that actually texts with a celebrity? Is Vanilla Ice the only celebrity that you have a legit relationship where you could text and get a text back, or is there anybody else in there? As I do not have anybody other than Twigs and Klepto from the Snack Pack.
Yeah.
And sometimes they don't answer me back either.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't.
I know you had Michael Lohan.
Yeah.
But then he's a celebrity.
Yeah, he's a noted name.
V? You got?
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't think I do.
Yeah, I don't think we have anybody.
No.
That's pretty cool, though.
Yeah, that's neat. They'll have some people, yeah. It's pretty cool when they pop up on your drug special.
It is.
Unexpectedly.
Yeah.
You're like, wait a minute, I actually know that cat.
Well, you can legit text him and get some kind of an answer. That's what's cool about
Right.
that.
Well, the thing about it, and I was wondering, and I got to watch the whole thing, but I was kind of wondering, it may be something where he's like, like for us, we probably have things on the fringe where it's like, I know when we talked to him a little bit about Suge Knight, at one point he was hesitant.
I can't imagine why.
Yeah, and some of these people, because I started getting into the guy who was the Cuban guy, and they were talking. I jumped out of this. I'm going to watch the rest of it hopefully today. They were jumping out of it saying, "Hey, you didn't get him for the documentary. Do you think you talking?" Like, absolutely not. He's a very serious guy, and he is not. This is a guy that was personal friends with Pablo Escobar. And so he was, running a lot of the drugs and things like that. And so, if you have somebody like that is still out there, and I think he's on the lam. I don't think they've got him. They believe he's in another country laying low somewhere. So that's what it sounded like. So, but, when you're talking about mafia stuff and mob stuff, I mean, it's still legit. I mean, the Russian mob is still very legit in South Florida. Drug runners and the cartel is still very real in South Florida. That, you may be like, I don't know. I may or may not want to talk about some of that stuff. Cause,
he doesn't care about goofy fame.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, what do I have to gain from that? Because, some of it, and somebody may hear me like, hey, that so-and-so is on a podcast talking about your days with us in the named. Yeah, I mean, the one guy who is on the thing sounded very fascinating, Tarzan, who is the Russian guy, and they were talking about all the Russian mobsters that, were hanging out at his place. I'd like to hear some of the stories, because I'd never heard of Porky's as a strip club. And,
you have it as a movie, though. I know you've seen Porky's the movie.
Yeah, and that's where they got the name of the strip club from. And they were talking about the fact the guy who came and ran it, this guy Tarzan doesn't sound like he's a very good business guy. He would just get the drug money and open up a place. And he brought this one guy in. He's like going, they started. The one guy who was his manager took credit for being really the first club to start doing those feature shows. He said, we get porn stars in there. And then, he would do the thing where
It works.
they would get a dildo and they put it on like an electric car. And then, they would have guys would pay $5 or $10 or $20 to run the car, and the girl would lay on the stage.
Oh, my.
And they'd drive it all around.
Wow.
Yeah. It's graphic stuff, man.
Super graphic.
Pretty intense, too, huh?
Yeah.
Ugh, I don't know if I could watch that.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, they talked about it. They didn't show it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not like, here's how we did it, but
what kind of sick shit you think Ralston's into?
I don't know. I'm exploring.
yeah, it was a documentary on that, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see what else they talk about. And he had a restaurant too. I think it might have been in Lauderdale or North Miami called Babushka's. If that doesn't sound like a Russian mob place. And that's apparently the place where all the Russian mob was hanging out. And then I think they got some dirt on Tarzan, what it sounds like, and then, or at least his manager, somebody there or they had a guy that was an informant, and he was providing all these photos, and they started wiring all the booths in that restaurant. Oh. And they would get all these like Russian mob conversations and all that kind of stuff.
Didn't we go to a Russian bar in Miami back in the day?
Well, I don't know. I'm trying to remember. I mean, I
remember being taken to one and being like, this is cool.
Well, I remember the first time that I recognized it, I was in Hallandale Beach. And I'm like going, is fucking everybody here Russian? Like, what's going on? And I was kind of like saying something. I'd been drinking a little bit. My friend's like, hey, honestly, he's like, can I keep it down a little bit? I'm like, what? And he's like, and I thought he was messing with me. He's like, dude, there was a lot of Russian mob around here. He's like, just don't say anything weird. And I'm like, really? And then I kind of like looked it up. I'm like going, is Hallandale Beach known for Russian mob? And people are like, oh yeah. So I'm like, thank you for shutting me up.
If he dies, he dies. What movie, Virginia?
Die Hard.
No, but
Oh, it was a good guess.
good guess. Rocky IV.
Oh.
So thank you for the suggestion on that. Got a can we talk about this? Pamela sent an email. Said thank you for staying on the air for us. You're the only thing that keeps me connected to reality and to my old ways. Can we please address the following? Obesity and smoking, vaping, pre-existing conditions that affect the end result of a COVID infection greatly. I feel like this gets overlooked most of the time, and when a young person does not make it, there is no mention of any of this. I think we should all try to exercise as much as possible and get ourselves in better health. So if we do face this virus down the road, we have a better chance of fighting it. It's not just about being skinny, but also about being strong. I'm also a believer that spending time outside in the sun, reasonable time in the sun with sunscreen, of course, provides our bodies with a great amount of strength. Gives you the vitamin D that you need, and the healing power of the sun is so great. For Virginia, I recommend getting one of those super large above ground pools, since she couldn't get the real pool. Would her HOA have an issue with that?
They would definitely have an issue with that.
Yeah.
That's such an eyesore for rich people.
These bastards, they basically, I went to the meeting and these old assholes tell me basically, I only am in charge of 2 feet of my backyard. That's all I own of my backyard is 2 feet, and they own the rest.
Wow.
So that's why when I wanted to say, fuck all of y'all, I set up a pool in the front yard. It's a pretty healthy sized baby pool, and I blared NWA, and I drank beer, and I swore a lot.
Okay. That was your...
To get back at the HOA, but now your neighbors hate you?
Yeah, but my neighbors are the only ones that get punished, and I think they're awesome.
Yeah, so you're fucking the wrong people.
Damn it.
It's not the way to do it.
Yeah, so anyway, that was her thought. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if people will change health habits after the coronavirus or not.
You'll see all that stuff in the beginning, and then when things get back to normal and normal stays back to normal for a while, you'll see people going back to their old ways.
Yeah, probably. I just wonder how much of an imprint it'll make and for how long, and then will we in our lifetime see another pandemic? Is this going to be something that, oh yeah, there's another pandemic coming our way, almost like we hear a hurricane is like, oh great.
I don't know how many more of these I can do.
And I agree, only because I don't know how much more of Virginia I could do with the coronavirus.
Right. Well,
If you told me we were going to get one every 5 years, I would be really, really upset.
Like a new pandemic every 5 years.
That would be really.
Well, I think
it'd be hard.
That's a normal emotion. A pandemic every 5 years would suck.
I'm barely holding on over here. The Velcro is stretching.
yeah, no, it would really, yeah, and who knows what the new reality is going to be, in the future. But
it's hard to see anything down. People have all these ideas right now and projections of what's going to happen, and nobody really knows because the temperature on all of this keeps changing. You know what I mean? And it's hard when you're in the midst of it to have
clarity.
Legit to say this or that.
Because everybody that's like saying stuff, they're really just guessing because nobody really knows because nobody has a crystal ball.
No. And that's the thing. And I don't know even if we got another pandemic, if you'd even know then, because they all seem to be relatively different.
And people are losing their minds because majority of the people are healthy and they're quarantined. So they're like, what the shit's going on? I got to get out of here. Most people are. Mm-hmm. And that's why I think you're starting to see some people. I mean, we probably still have another month at least, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, looks like it. Now, Dr. Fauci, he had said that a May 1st target date for reopening the economy is a bit overly optimistic. So it didn't say when, but thought, even though the numbers are starting to look better, they're just saying to everybody, hey, stay the course. You guys are doing a great job. 90% of people are taking the social distancing legit and do it. I'm just trying to read the stories for myself to get a little bit of perspective. Like I had said yesterday on the show, what was eye-opening for me was looking at how Cleveland and Philadelphia, it was a tale of two cities. They handled it differently. Cleveland shut it down, and they wound up having less deaths and better financial outcomes than Philadelphia, who stayed open a little bit too long and opened up a little bit too early. They had more deaths, and their economy was worse off than Cleveland's.
The one thing I realize is, even though they shouldn't have been doing it, I told you about those people on Facebook that had like a 30-person barbecue and they're playing flip cup and they're all drinking out of the safe. That went on this weekend with one of our listeners, but it made me really want to play flip cup. When all this is over, I want to have a fun barbecue.
I don't know. I might get a little PTSD twitch if I even am around flip cup and be like,
Virginia's not invited?
Don't invite me to your flip cup tournament. Yeah. I may not be the best person at any party for a little bit.
I think you're going to have to shed off a lot of fear and a lot of time's going to go by, but there's going to be a moment where everything gets back to a calm normal and we're going to be able to have a barbecue.
I totally think you're right.
The good news, I think for the next 18 months, you're going to have a viable excuse to miss any social gathering you don't want to go to.
You are so right about that.
Yeah.
You are right.
You know what? I'm just sad, a little sensitive about
I'm taking it very serious.
Oh, well, I mean, there are still people that still want to hang out and do stuff.
I can't go to your vow renewal.
And my excuse always, sorry, dude, Virginia. If Virginia finds out I'm out in public fucking around, I go, you'll be dead. It's not worth it.
It's not worth it, yeah.
You actually are a good excuse.
Put it on me because it's not a lie.
Oh, I know.
Mm-hmm. This is a crazy story that I had seen with the Super Bowl and how it really could have been disastrous for San Francisco. They lost the Super Bowl to the Kansas City Chiefs, and they're like, oh, man, we lost the Super Bowl. But it might have been the best thing ever because they did not have a Super Bowl parade for the winners. And at the time, they believed that COVID-19 in San Francisco was percolating all over the place.
Oh, my.
And they've estimated that a victory parade with 1 million people might have caused an outbreak in the city months ago. It might have been a lot more devastating for that city because, the West Coast and that area, the Northwest, was hit early and fast, being closer to China.
Well, that's what they're saying, why New Orleans is so stressed right now because of Mardi Gras.
Yeah.
It is a hot city and a hot zone for the infection because they think at Mardi Gras it just spread like wildfire.
Shocking.
There's so many people standing all up on top of each other, and you have people from around the world that travel to Mardi Gras, and just nobody knew back in February that this was even out there.
And it's so weird that a virus spread so quickly in Mardi Gras. Shocking. I mean, everyone's just drinking and breathing and fucking. It's terrible. I mean, not terrible. If you're into all that, it's great. I'm saying
not everybody is fucking.
No, you know what I meant. That's vulgar. And
you all stand next to each other, though. I mean, that's a thing.
I'm just saying, part of the whole. You know what I meant. You're right. Not everyone's porking.
My kids go to every parade. They're not fucking nobody.
You know what I meant. Don't make it weirder than it has to be.
Yeah, so pretty fascinating stuff. When it comes to the stimulus checks, a lot of people seem to be getting that. People are very happy today. But a little bit of a note if you're not a financial expert, we were talking earlier, somebody had said, hey, you can defer some of your payments, but that could actually just give you more problem in the future. You just have to have a good financial strategy on what you're going to do with your stimulus check, which bills you're going to pay, how you're going to handle that money responsibly. Ronald said the only thing that is going to help is getting back to work. These stimulus and delayed mortgages, et cetera, are like putting a Band-Aid on a gash. Eventually, you'll bleed to death. So, that's part of it and something to consider. And somebody also had texted us earlier and said, be careful with loan forgiveness. The IRS treats it as income.
Hey.
Right.
Oh, that's right. Denny's knows about that.
Yeah.
He got slapped with the IRS one year.
What do you mean?
And Denny's is a person that should not be slapped by the IRS.
No, he's
Or by anyone.
by the
Agreed.
book guy.
Don't slap Denny's.
Well, just don't make a guy like that pay that much money to you. It's not fair.
It's not fair.
I saw something yesterday on Twitter I thought was cool. You'll have to pass on to Panda, Virginia, because I know he's a Depeche Mode fan.
Loves Depeche Mode.
They released their album Ultra yesterday in 1997, April 14th. So it's been out for a while, so it was kind of the release date on it. I didn't realize, at the time, the lead singer Dave Gahan was dealing with the drug issues that was going on. I think one person had dropped out. They became a trio at that point. They had a couple really great songs. It's No Good is one of my all-time favorite songs.
Oh, that's a great song.
Barrel of a Gun is also on there. And I did not realize that album Ultra is the namesake for the EDM festival in Miami.
Really?
That's how they got the name Ultra, is from the Depeche Mode album. A little factoid there for you, Virginia.
Oh, look at this.
How does Barrel of a Gun go? Does it go like this? Barrel of a gun. I'm so sad. What the fuck?
Yes.
I'm so sad. What the fuck?
That's
Is that
it.
how it
That
goes?
sounds right.
Yeah, you nailed it. It's good stuff. So there you go. All right, y'all. Thank you for locking in here today. Make sure you check out Bud's Chicken and Seafood, another great place. It's doing it right. Easy to get that food. You just pull right through the drive-thru and bam, get your stuff just like that. All kinds of good stuff. I also say the fritters are delicious.
They are. Corn fritters are my favorite. I love them.
So good.
Yeah.
Eat them hot. Don't wait. I love just tearing into it when I'm still in the car and getting in those fritters.
Check it out. 6 locations in Palm Beach County. Thank you to Buds. Thank you. Locking in, too. We'll see you tomorrow.
Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems, ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.